Did you know that across various ancient mythologies, divine beings descended from the heavens to mate with humans and face severe consequences for their actions? Why did these celestial beings defy divine laws to be with mortals, and what happened to them as a result? Welcome to the mysterious world of the Book of Enoch, an ancient text revealing the forbidden tales of fallen angels who intermingled with humans and gave birth to a race of giants. The Book of Enoch was once valued by both Jews and Christians, but eventually lost favor among influential theologians precisely due to these controversial accounts of the fallen angels. Consequently, the book was denounced, banned, and likely destroyed, eventually fading into obscurity for 1,000 years. However, it resurfaced in the 18th century when Scottish explorer James Bruce discovered it in Ethiopia, where the Ethiopic Church had preserved it. Bruce brought several copies back to Europe, and in 1821, Dr. Richard Lawrence published the first English translation, though initially thought to be post-Christian due to its Christian-like terminology. Recent discoveries of copies of the book among the Dead Sea Scrolls at Qumran demonstrate that it existed before the time of Jesus Christ. Many concepts found in Jesus' teachings seem to echo those from the Book of Enoch, suggesting that Jesus not only studied the book but also respected it, integrating its descriptions of the coming kingdom and the judgment of the wicked into his own teachings. There is substantial evidence supporting these claims, as over 100 phrases in the New Testament have parallels in this book. So why is this book just one among many that talks about the incredible desire of divine beings to come down to earth and mingle with the beautiful women of the land? The book says, and we quote, "When the sons of men had multiplied in those days, beautiful and comely daughters were born to them. And the watchers, the sons of heaven, saw them and desired them. And they said to one another, 'Come, let us choose for ourselves wives from the daughters of men, and let us beget children for ourselves.' So was it pure lust?" Either way, 200 of them descended on earth and imparted forbidden knowledge to humanity, leading to significant consequences. Each area of forbidden knowledge they shared brought major changes and challenges to human societies. The Watchers taught humans various forms of sorcery and magical practices, likely involving spells and rituals intended to influence the physical or spiritual world. This knowledge, seen as dangerous and corrupting, upset the natural balance and led to a decline in ethics and morals. They also taught humans how to use cosmetics and jewelry to enhance their appearance, encouraging vanity and a focus on material things. Humankind was also taught how to make tools and weapons, which eventually gave them a reason for conflict and power dynamics, increasing their capacity for violence and dominance. The Watchers taught the creation and use of weapons, and we all know how that ended: complete disruption of peace. Even insights into astrology exerted control over human behavior based on the supposed influence of celestial bodies, which contrasts with monotheistic views that emphasize divine guidance. Lastly, the Watchers shared knowledge of medicinal herbs and how to use them, allowing humans to utilize natural resources for healing and nutrition, yet men still made harmful poisons out of it. However, as we mentioned earlier, their original intent was to take human women as their partners. This act led to the creation of the Nephilim, a race of giants born from these unions. In the book, Enoch states, and we quote, "And the giants begot Nephilim, and to the Nephilim were born Eliud, and they were growing by their greatness. They were devouring the labor of all the sons of men, and men were not able to supply them. And the giants began to kill men and to devour them. And they began to sin against the birds and beasts and creeping things and the fish, and to devour one another's flesh. And they drank the blood. Then the earth brought accusation against the lawless ones. Their existence and the violence they brought to the earth were significant factors leading to God's decision to cleanse the world with the great flood." This part of the story is familiar to most, as the Bible uses the narratives of the flood and Noah, as well as the references to Enoch, to convey themes of divine judgment, righteousness, and redemption. Again, we quote the prophet, "Then the Most High declared, and the Great Holy One spoke, 'Go to Noah and say to him in my name, hide yourself, and reveal to him that the end is coming, that the whole earth will perish.'" This was just one of the commands God had for the archangels to take specific actions against the wicked and their offspring, For example, Archangel Raphael was tasked with binding Azazel, one of the chief watchers who had imparted forbidden knowledge to humans. Raphael was to cast Azazel into a desert place, cover him with jagged rocks, and keep him in darkness until the day of judgment. Archangel Gabriel was directed to destroy the Nephilim by inciting a civil war among them, causing them to turn against each other, leading to their mutual destruction. Each archangel's actions were crucial in mitigating the damage done and setting the stage for Noah's role in preserving life and re-establishing humanity after the flood. The Watchers' rebellion led to their expulsion from heaven. They were stripped of their angelic privileges and were no longer part of the divine assembly. This separation was permanent, marking a clear line between the holy and the profane. In punishment for their transgression, the Watchers were deprived of their wisdom and power. The very knowledge they sought to spread led to their downfall and contributed to their condemnation. Serving as a mediator between the divine and the earthly realms, Enoch was described in the Bible as a righteous man chosen by God for a special mission. According to his book, God summoned him to ascend to heaven to receive revelations. Enoch was taken on a journey through various heavens or celestial realms. During this journey, he was guided by angels who helped him understand the secrets of the universe. He witnessed the heavenly courts, saw the hosts of angels, and learned about the workings of the cosmos and the fate of humanity. These revelations included prophecies about the coming of the Messiah, the final judgment, and the end times. However, similar stories appear across different centuries, geographic locations, and cultures. Like the narrative of the Watchers, the Anunnaki also engaged in forbidden relationships with human women. The consequences were quite similar: the birth of hybrid offspring, which led to significant moral and ethical dilemmas. These stories, despite coming from different cultural and historical contexts, share striking similarities. It just brings us back to the question, why would divine beings risk everything to interact with and influence human life? Could we attribute that to human curiosity? It might reflect humanity's interest in the divine and the origins of civilization, or how these stories teach moral and ethical lessons. Or it may be a form of fear, provoking redemption among the righteous and exerting control over the wicked. If you behave, you'll live long enough to see Judgment Day. On this day, all humans are resurrected and gathered for final judgment. Each person's deeds are weighed, and they are either rewarded with eternal life or punished based on their actions. Even if this is the case, it's remarkable how descriptive and imaginative these cultures were, with vivid depictions of different angels, fallen divine beings, interactions with humans, knowledge sharing, births of giants and hybrid offspring, floods to cleanse the earth, and that final day to determine worthiness. It's an effective way to control the masses, but how is it possible that so many different nations all around the world have such similar stories? It makes you wonder if perhaps we were once actually visited by someone. What do you think?